So I'll pass now over to Joe Eakin. The next presentation is about space operas, art exhibits, and performances. So Joe, over to you.
Hey, hello everybody, and thank you, Martin, for moderating this panel. So for those who didn't see me before, my name's Joe Eakin. I'm the technical director of the Ho-Tung Visualization Lab and Planetarium. And basically, this panel, we're going to talk about space operas, art exhibits, and performances. Each of the folks in this panel has done live events in the past. Basically, we want to share some of our knowledge, lessons learned, and possibly create maybe a gathering of sorts, a regular gathering of folks to combine artists and planetarians alike. So we need to get started because we're short on time. So I'll introduce our first panelist. That is Anne-Lize Kochuyt from the Planetarium of the Royal Observatory in Belgium. And Anne-Lize is a science communicator and responsible for the public events at the Planetarium of the Royal Observatory in Belgium for the last 15 years. Before that, she worked 10 years as director in Cultural Community Center in Brussels, where she programmed music, theater productions, and exhibitions for both adults and kids. She is also a biochemical engineer with a strong lifelong interest in arts and culture. And in a planetarium, she can combine both her passion for science and her interest for arts and exciting new productions. So I will let Anne-Lize take it over and share your screen, Anne-Lize, and make sure you unmute yourself.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm sharing my screen for the moment. Don't know if you already... sorry. I still have to adapt my preferences, apparently. Okay. Sorry, Joe, I have a little technical problem with sharing my screen. Is there maybe a possibility that you take the second speaker? That we don't lose the time?
Yeah, we can do that. That's no problem. So Paul, if you are ready, you can share your screen and we'll get Anne-Lize set up.
Okay, thank you so much. And thank you everyone for being here. I really appreciate this. Let me grab my screen, share screen. Okay, I hope that's working. I think it's working.
Yes.
Okay, great. Sorry, there's a lot of stuff on this screen. I'm sure we're all going through the same thing. But hi, everyone. My name is Paul Catanese. I'm an artist in Chicago. I teach at Columbia College, and I never really, before about a year or two ago, I hadn't ever made anything in the dome before. I had really wanted to for a long time. And it wasn't until I was offered an artist residency at Colgate University where I was able to work with Joe and actually quite a few people from across that campus to realize this project called Century of Progress / Sleep, which is, there's a lot to say about it, but I'll be short so I don't, because that's where we're at. So this is an experimental opera. It reflects on mischaracterizations of science, lawless theories of knowledge, and general state of epistemological chaos. I'm not going to spend time on what the opera is about. I want to really talk about my experience as an artist, my takeaways of what went into this, and some pictures of basically what things look like. We're trying to leave some time for conversation at the end, because it's really what conversation is at. The takeaways that I'm going to be touching on here have to do with the notion of the artist residency, what it meant to have time for orientation in particular as an artist, having never really worked with using a dome, making an experience for the dome. What I call black box thinking, or again, as an artist, really thinking about considering the whole environment as potentially expressive. So when trying to make work make an artwork for the dome that includes live performers, to really think about it as a theater, as opposed to a big screen. And I think, you know, that's a way of thinking that I came with. And I think probably a lot of planetarians maybe are thinking that way, but I know it's probably something really important for other artists who you might be inviting to work into your spaces, to kind of really see, in a way, past the projection surface itself. Really, really critical in order to sort of align people. Third point we're talking a little bit about is this extensive touch designer system, not that extensive, but a useful system that I ended up building for pre-visualization through Showrun. And then some of the other points and takeaways, oh my goodness, I'm looking at my time, is some documentation successes and challenges. Just jumping right in, here's some, I guess I really am moving out of time, but I had built a touch designer system because I was in residence at Colgate for about a year, and I would travel back and forth. I couldn't be there the whole entire time. It was really critical for me as an artist to work with Joe several times. You know, you have, I had ideas about what was possible with the dome, but of course those were wrong. You know, both technically and just system-wise and throughput-wise. And so here, this is a picture from my studio where I'm working on a real-time rendering.
Hey, Paul, it's not showing up, so I'm just going to share my screen.
Oh,
it's no problem.
okay.
I got it real quick. Give me 1 second.
Oh, I'm sorry, everyone.
No, you're good.
Oh, it does say it too.
Okay. Everybody should be seeing my screen now. I can just advance forward to slide.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, that's good, Mark. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Yep.
This is, this is a picture from my studio, actually back in Chicago, where I'm able to render and previs a picture of the dome, so I could basically work remotely and then pop in. Joe, go ahead and go to the next screen. This is from teaching a touch designer workshop to try and teach. Again, for me as an artist, it's just really important not to be. I needed to have my hands on the visuals. Joe, can you go to the next slide? That way we can kind of get into some of what we actually did. The show very much had 5 musicians performing live in the space. And some of the big takeaways for me were really, again, to think about the whole entire space itself. Joe, can you go to the next slide? I think it, just some, again, this is kind of the visuals. And maybe the next slide after this. This one's a good one to pause on just for a second. One of the things that I'm really interested in was the embodied experience of the audience. You can see how around the whole entire edge of the dome, I asked Joe and the team of students, we installed Mylar everywhere below the horizon line. So there's these incredible interreflections everywhere in the dome. And you know, I felt really lucky because this thing is a scientific lab for Joe and the physicists and everybody to just sort of say, yeah, let's try these things out. Let's treat it like a theater. Joe, go ahead and go to the next slide, please. Maybe even the next one. Yeah, I know, I can see that. Sometimes as an artist, you know, sometimes we were using the dome to actually project, you know, video or real-time visualizations. And other times we're using atmospheric effects. Here you can kind of see how close we all were as purpose of this slide, they were really on top of each other to try and fit people in. There's plenty more to say, but there's also several other presenters on the panel. And you know, I'm available here in the conversation, which is really what I'd like to be able to get to. Yeah, I suppose the very, very, very last thing I'll say before I give over to Anne-Lize is just, we did find documentation probably one of the biggest challenges as an artist. You know, I think video documentation in particular is something a nut that probably would work to crack a little bit differently. But yeah, just a wonderful experience. And like I said, I'm interested in the conversation.
Thank you, Paul. We better move on at this stage, I'm afraid. So if we can have the next speaker, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yep. So the next speaker, Anne-Lize, if you want to try again, I have your slides available as well. But.
Okay, no, I have them also. Sorry for the technical issue. So I am Anne-Lize. I work in the planetarium of the Royal Observatory of Belgium. Our planetarium is situated in Brussels, in Belgium. I'm going. Yeah, oh, sorry, going too quick. So here you have an outside view. We have a 23-meter dome with 340 seats in concentric seating. Since 2009, we have a full dome installation. It's RSA Cosmos system with 8 Barco projectors. But we also kept in the middle of the dome our optomechanical projector. It's a Zeiss model that dates from 1935, and he's still operational. We use it for special occasions. Like every planetarium, we give astronomy lessons for schools and full dome movies for families and tourists. But I'm going to talk now about our cultural activities. I will propose 3 of them, 3 interesting collaborations we had the past years. The first one is Macrocosmos. It was a concert by a symphonic orchestra and a choir of in total about almost 60 musicians. They brought a program with music from Bach, Strauss, Mozart, Arvo Pärt, and all the concert was accompanied by videos or by the night sky of our digital planetarium. For the stage, we had to build a special podium upon a part of our seating. The second one, Tip of the Tongue, is a theater that was written and performed by Pieter de Buizer, and it was also accompanied by a full dome video. This theater tells the story of a philanthropist who wants to build a spacecraft and who wonders about science, fiction, and reality. The full dome video was a mix of real video footage, like you see here, projected 4 times on our dome, and it formed a sort of square. But it was also combined with real full dome animations and images from our digital planetarium. Then we go to the third example. That was Eakin. It is a concert by Meteor Music. That's a Belgian electronic music group. And they tell a story about a stranded cosmonaut somewhere in the universe facing his death. Meteor Music worked around the sonic narrative of solitude and claustrophobia that deep space can evoke. This is combined with the visual storytelling of Jake the Digital. It's really an amazing combination of live music and immersive 360 degrees visuals. The visuals were also a combination of real video footage of an actor playing the astronaut, combined with digital animation, and everything was designed by the video artists, the costume of the actor, and so on. Why are we doing all of these cultural activities? Well, for us, there are 4 important things. First of all, the collaborations make us look at the dome in another way. The dome becomes a sort of canvas where the artist can present his work. We reach a new public that normally wouldn't come to the planetarium. We want to bring back the wonder and the amazement in our domes that sometimes we are losing in all the astronomical education, and the planetarium becomes a place to be. Of course, if you organize these sort of things, there are difficulties. First of all, it's a time-consuming creation process. It demands a high degree of technicity of the artist, and the return for the artist is minimal, both financially and in terms of reputation.
Okay. But Anne-Lize, you got like 20 seconds.
Okay, but I'm reaching the last one. I have two hopes for the future. First of all, that if we could transform the dome into a theater, a sort of arena where science, arts, and society could meet. And second, a worldwide network of arts-loving planetaria so that we can give a broader stage for all of these performances. Thanks for your attention.
Great, thank you, Anne-Lize.
Thank you. Yeah, we better move on now to the next speaker.
Yeah, so Carter Emmart is our next speaker. I think almost everybody should know him from the American Museum of Natural History. So I'll let Carter go away. We have like, we'll cut it a little short just so we can have at least one question with about 3 minutes, Carter. You're muted.
Are you there, Carter?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
And am I unmuted?
You're okay now.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. And can you see the screen change?
Yes.
Good. Okay, great. We also have a write-up on this, and this was a wonderful forum to be involved with. This slide basically talks about our analogs when we were developing the Rose Center at a time when full dome video was just really coming to the planetarium world. And but there were analogs, and also certainly Digistar was arguably the first digital system on a planetarium. But 1964's Atmospherium, which was at the Reno Planetarium, the 1970 Astrorama, tip of the hat to Goto for making that happen at the 1970 World's Fair I'm sorry, H-band. And also 1984, we have the OmniMax SIGGRAPH call for data visualization on the dome. And then really development of the cave in 1992 in the University of Illinois Electronic Visualization Lab, Tom DeFanti. SGI, when we were getting into the game, Silicon Graphics, had created a section of a dome, as you can see there on the right. And then in the lower right, the Hemispherium, which was developed as really the first interactive full dome color system with a wonderful chair. You get on it, it'll rail you out there and you're like really surrounded by the visuals. It's incredible. So at the Hayden, I'm just going to go ahead to this, is that we've really had just sort of only four sort of major dates with experimental work beyond our regular venue. We had a theremin concert in 2002, and we had graphics that responded to the audio. It was interesting in the Q&A was that people said, why didn't you light the performer? We didn't light the performer. We felt that that would light up the dome. We wanted people to look at these visuals. And so it was sort of a mixed bag. But it led to the idea of a music show we called Sonic Vision. The Gotham Opera in 2010 did Il Mondo della Luna, and which was an opera that was staged very much as sort of bring everything into the dome. But what they used as visuals, you see the background of something which was from Sonic Vision, the eyeballs of Alex Gray in the background. The Kochuyt Quartet in 2012, and we redid this a little bit in 2017 with Gerald Cohen, I'm sorry, did a piece about Voyager, and so we debuted that. But this was classical music and visuals that were interactive. The New York Times was critical of it, saying this is overwhelming, and we didn't have really a guide to tell us what it was that we were looking at. I tried to do that as an intro. And then also 2 years ago with Mickey Hart, a famous musician from the Grateful Dead, and if I just play this here, that this is inside Mickey Hart's brain. It was a brain scan that was done at the University of California, San Francisco. And Mickey really wanted to put this at the end of a tour of the universe, which was really made up of clips of all our previous shows. So, and then the last thing I want to mention is that inside the dome, what I've not been able to successfully sort of bring out from Sunday nights that are just invite only are musical explorations where I have musicians come in, we plug in as minimally as we can. And these are unofficial, and these are just sort of small groups. But we appreciate the visuals that we can produce. This is open space. We're flying over the Earth as a more contemplative side of really being immersed in this material. And so it's interesting in the paper sort of go to the various aspects of the blue sky thinking an artist comes in with. And also just to go back here to this notion that I think we all struggle with and has been celebrating the dome surface, which is really the tradition of the planetarium, versus really this 3D world, which we've all come to understand now, I would say, in our field. But still, I think for someone, an artist coming in, that you really have to sort of begin to work with this. You have cross-reflectivity, you have dim projectors, you have alignment issues. I mean, all this stuff goes into the constraints that artists have to work within. So that's it. That's basically my presentation. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Carter.
Okay, we have a little bit of time for questions.
Excellent.
Sorry, just cut in on you there, Joseph.
Oh, no, it's fine. I was just going to show this slide I put in the chat as well. The abstract, whenever it gets uploaded, that was one of the ones that are kind of late. There'll be a lot more information. And so we proposed actually to try to do regular gatherings to match up artists with the planetarium folks to foster new collaborations and whatnot. So a link for the registration is in the chat. It's also going to be in the paper when it gets published. And yeah, no, this would be great to get some more projects on the way. So
great, thank you.